Good afternoon, students. My name is Njamba Johannes. I'm your tutor for Social Science 5. Today I'm going to take you through the how you should on the assignment and how you should approach the questions. Thank you. The module is Social Science Module 5. Okay, I already mentioned my name. I am Johannes Njamba. To start with, to approach your assignment first, you have to start with instruction. It will guide you through. You need to use your study guide to answer the questions. And you can also use various materials, but please remember to reference if you are using other sources. I'll take you through the assignment. I said use your study guide, answer the questions, and read the instruction to guide you. I'll go straight to the questions. Question number 1. Before we go to the questions, I want to discuss a few common verbs which are common in the questions. You should really look at this because it's very important when you are answering your questions. The common words which are common in these assignments are the ones which are asking you to discuss something, describe something, explain something, or distinguish or state the difference between certain items. When you are asked to discuss, please give a clear description of a certain feature and discuss about it. Point out the positive and the negative before arriving to the conclusion. When you are asked to describe, give clear detail of features being asked for. Explain something with clear example, please. It's very important. Some questions are also asking you to explain. You basically describe a feature or something with clear examples. And some are asking you to distinguish or differentiate. That simply means you have to point out a difference or similar things between the whatever features they are asking you to differentiate between. Okay, I will go question by question. So you please follow me. Question 1 is the common verb in question 1 is discuss. You have to discuss the importance of geography in Namibian education system. Simply, we go back to the discussion point. You please just understand the geography and how is it important to our country. How is it geography? Knowing geography important to Namibia. This give important concept and a clear description of the features or situations. I will refer you to the study guide. The answers are clearly stated in the study guide. Okay, we go to question number 2. It's also asking you to discuss, but this time it's saying critical discuss steps which you could follow when using the following teaching methods. Learning in social study in secondary education. The methods are source-based method, question-based method, textbook method. State clearly, discuss the steps which are involved for each, and please still refer you to the study guide and the answers are there. I'll still urge you again to broaden your understanding by reading other sources. It's very important. Okay. Question 3. Question 3 is asking you to discuss features of learner-centered education in geography with reference to the nature of knowledge, learning, and assessment. Please discuss the feature involved in the given concept. I still refer you back to the common verb. Look at what discuss mean and how to approach with a question which requires you to discuss something, please give clear description of features. So I would say this one is a straightforward. I will also still refer you to the study guide. Please read your study guide. The answers, you will find them there if you open your study guide and read it. Okay. I'll move on to question number 4. Question number 4 is having a diagram. It's a population pyramid of a developing country in Namibia. In Africa. Questions under the diagram. We are on question 4. Describe the structure of population shown in the pyramid. The structure is there. If you open the question paper, you see the diagram and the structure. We have different structures, population pyramids. They portray different information. This particular one, the question is to describe the structure of the population shown in this population pyramid. Please read about this. It's in the study guide. If you read carefully, you understand what the structure, and you'll be able to describe it. I don't want to go in detail because this is a straightforward. It's up to you to find the right answer. Question 4b, give reason for the structure you have described in A. Still, we go back to the structure of the population pyramid. This specific structure portrays certain information. Please give reason why it is the way it is. It's very important. If you go in the study guide, you read, and you look at other sources, this will be very easy for you to answer. Okay. Question 4c, describe some of the problem for countries which have population structure similar to the one shown in pyramid above. Describe some of the problem of countries which have a population structure similar to the one shown in the pyramid above. Yes, depending on the structure of the population, it says something about the country, the economic status, the developing status. Please look at the population structure, the structure of the pyramid, and then relate what kind problem faced by such countries with this type of population structure, population pyramid. Please, I still refer you to the study guide. It's very important. If you read the study guide, this will be a straightforward question. You'll be able to answer. I can't say further than this. If I go beyond this, I might say things which I was not supposed to say. It's up to you to find the answers. Thank you. Question 4D. Suggest reason why many women in most economic developed countries, or MEDC, are now having their children at a later stage in life. Please, this also, if you understand the population pyramid, different type of population pyramids and their structures, this information also come automatically. You'll be able to tell why these women are having children at a later age. It depends on the certain factors of a country, economic, social factors, and women tend to have kids in a later stage. But please, this is also in the study guide. You'll be able to pick it up if you read. I'm sure you'll get it. I know you are hardworking students. Please just go through your study guide. And I'll still urge you, please look at other sources. Remember to reference, because looking beyond the study guide also broaden your mind. You understand things better. Thank you. Go to question 5. This question is looking into natural hazards. 5A is asking, it stands like this. Natural hazard may have a great effect on a country. Explain what sort of problem a country might experience shortly after a natural hazard. If you understand the term natural hazard, and if it occurs in a country, what effect it brings, usually Let me just say natural hazards are things such as earthquake, volcano, flooding. If it happened in a country, please state certain problem which are associated with natural hazard if it happened in an area, or let's say in this situation in a country. Please, they are straightforward. This is a straightforward question. If keep saying more, I'll start giving answers. But just think about a natural hazard, like I have given you examples of earthquake, flooding, or volcanoes. It happens in a country or in a given area. Please think of problems. Natural, just instinct-wise, you will know that these kind of problems are likely to occur. They are associated with natural hazard. If you read your study guide, it will be, the answers are there stipulated. And please, also you can read other sources to give you more insight about this issue. It should be fine. Question 5b. Less economic developed country cannot cope as well with natural hazard than most economically developed country. Using examples you have studied, explain why this statement is true. This statement is true. The less economic developed country and most economic developed country, they cope differently when it comes to natural hazard. Some countries cope better, some struggle a lot. Please explain why between these two countries of different status. Why one cope well, one doesn't cope well? Please, it's up to you. The information is in the study guide. Just read, you'll find the answers there. Okay. This is question 5c. Why are some countries more prone to natural disasters than others? It's a straightforward question. The answer is in the study guide. It's also there in the other sources. If you use other sources, it's very important you reference. You can also just look in the study guide, read about it, and give the answer. And one thing I want to advise is that when you are approaching a question, please look at the marks. The marks would assist you in how much information you want to give. Some questions are having few marks, some are having more. When you see a lot of marks, please try to give as much information as you can. Okay. Question 5 is asking you to draw a label diagram to demonstrate seafloor spreading. Please read your study guide, and also you can use other sources to look for information on this. I'm sure you have read about it. If you already went through your study guide, the answers are there. Thank you. I'm moving to question number 6. I hope you are following. Question 6, question 6a. Question 6 have got questions from A up to E. Question 6a is asking to distinguish between primary, secondary, and quaternary industry sectors and give example. These are sectors in terms of we have different level of sectors in which we operate in terms of you find that at primary sector certain things happen, secondary, and also at the quaternary. Please give an explanation of the difference between them. It's saying distinguish. I also explained this common verb. When it said distinguish, please point out the difference between the sectors, primary, secondary, quaternary, and also give examples. And please look at the marks. It's very important. It will guide you on how much you are going to give, information you are going to give. Okay. Question 6b. Consider ways in which the economy of a developing country, such as Namibia, may be helped by large-scale irrigation scheme. Yes, irrigation scheme, read about it. Consider now a country like Namibia. We have our situation, climatic situation, and all that. We are not so blessed with rain. We have deserts, we have savannas. If we were to have irrigation scheme, what good does it bring to the country, like our country, Namibia? Please read your study guide. The answers are there. I'll also urge you to broaden your understanding. Look at other sources. Look at other examples, not only Namibia, but similar environmental conditions such as Namibia. You'll get a lot of answers from there. But still, please, if you use other sources, reference. But the study guide have got all what you need to guide you in approaching the questions. Okay, question 6C. The question goes like this. You are a member of a government in developing country in Namibia, a country such as Namibia, which has received large sum of money as part of aid for agriculture development. Explain how you could use the money to increase agriculture output. You can refer to both crop farming and stock farming. As this information, I know it's in the study guide. I went through myself. Please, I urge you to do the same to get the answer. The question, to be honest, if you understand what's in your study guide, should be easy to answer. Thank you. Question 6D. What is the importance of fishing industry in Namibia? We have our coast, we do fishing in Walfish Bay and in Lüderitz. What good does that bring in Namibia? What is the importance of fishing in Namibia? It's a straightforward, again, question. Please, I urge you to use your study guide. The answers are there. If I talk too much, I might start giving answers of which I was not supposed to do, so I'll leave it there. It's a straightforward question for you, please. Study your study guide, you'll find the answers there, and give them, state them, please. We are moving on to question 6E, which is the last question in question 6. Explain why motor vehicle assembly parts are located all over the world. Yes, the answers are in the study guide. Just the whole question 6 is straightforward. Please familiarize yourself with the study guide, and some of these questions you can supplement your answers with other sources, but as long as you reference, it should be fine. Okay. We are moving to question 7. Explain. The question 7A goes like this. Explain how the following long-term factors affect insolation. The factors are height above sea level, altitude of the sun, and land sea breeze. Please, those are factors which affect insolation. Please explain to us. I will still take you to the common verb. When the question asks you to explain something, it's asking you to describe a feature, and the features or a feature or something, and the features we are referring to here is height above sea level, altitude of the sun, and land sea breeze. Just explain to us how this happens and how they affect insolation. And you must familiarize yourself what the meaning of the word insolation. Okay. The information is in the study guide, and you can also use other sources. Please reference. Question 7B. Distinguish. Again, one common verb is distinguish. You are expected to state a difference and similar features between the features which are given in the question. Distinguish between vertical and horizontal heat transfer. Yes, those are the term you have to distinguish. One is horizontal and the other one is vertical. Please state the difference between the term. Read, understand what the term means, and then discuss the difference between them. It's also in the study guide. Basically, all the answers are in the study guide. If you have your study guide, you read it carefully, you understand, you'll be able to answer your questions. Question 7C, differentiate. Again, is asking us to differentiate. It's the same as distinguish. Differentiate between temperate and tropical cyclone. First of all, understand what the meaning of a cyclone, and also read about understand the two terms, temperate cyclone and tropical cyclone. You have to state, once you understand them, you know the difference, then you state the difference between them. You should be fine. Okay. We are moving to question 8, which is our last question. It's asking you, students, it's asking what are the causes and consequences of water pollution. This is a question which just requires basic knowledge. You just have to understand what pollution is, then what the meaning of water pollution, what problem is associated with that, and what causes it. What are the causes and consequences? What causes it and what's the result of water pollution? If you drink or use polluted water, what consequences are associated with that? Again, it's in the study guide. Please familiarize yourself with this information. You can also use other sources to answer your question. Please, question 8 is the last question. I will urge you to read the instruction before you start answering the question, to avoid unforeseen mistakes. And also, they will tell you what you are expected to understand, what sources to use. Is the study guide. It will talk about problem areas and all that. Okay, please familiarize yourself. I believe you are very smart students, and the information you need to answer this question is in the study guide. If you read and you read the questions carefully, you understand them, you should be fine. Thank you. Again, my name is Johannes Njamba. I'm your tutor for Social Science 5. Thank you very much.